Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest. Episode 5 was just released today, and it was another banger. There was so much stuff happening in this episode, and I cannot wait to get right down into it. So, without further wait, let's get right into it, shall we? First of all, I want to get something out there that JC staff wasted 2 minutes of my favorite series into doing recap. Who in the hell wants a recap of what just happened 1 week prior? Fairy Tail season 2, the one where Natsu fights Future Rogue and Madgear. That season was full of recap crap. I hope they don't repeat the same disaster. So, with that out of my chest, let's move on to the actual episode. We pick up right where we left off last week on the Diabolos ship. Urza and Kiria are fighting amidst the fight. Urza changed into her Fire Empress armor, which looks lovely. I wish they would have shown the actual transformation in the 2 minutes that they wasted doing recap. I am never gonna go over the recap. I will keep bringing that recap until I die. Just as we get into it, Urza knocks Kiria upwards towards the deck with some beautiful animation. This sequence was very good, in my opinion. Now, all the players are on the ship. We have Natsu and the gang along with Scullion, Kiria, and Madmole. I was thinking that okay, this is it. We are now gonna get a big fight. We are gonna see Dragon Force Natsu, Demon Slayer Grey go all out. But fuck, nothing happened. Diabolos left. I was like, the fuck? You got me all hyped up from last 4 episodes and you do this. Come on, Fairy Tail. I want to see some flashy action. I want to see Natsu go berserk. I want to see Natsu Dragon Force, Natsu E&D, Natsu Dragon King mode, Grey going full Demon Slayer. I want that black marks to appear on his entirety of his body, not just half part of its body. We got nothing. Moving along, we get to the underwater palace and Murkphobia is recovering. This dude is lame as shit. He's doo-doo. There's so much stuff going down and he's completely useless. Just as he wakes up, he starts strangling Caramel. I mean, I like Caramel, but I don't really care if she dies. I want to see Murkphobia in action as soon as possible. Then we get back to one of my absolutely favorite scenes of this episode. Natsu, Lucy, Urza, Grey, and Minor Wendy are all riding in a boat jam packed. Natsu's face was all over Lucy's boobs. He's riding a boat and he's got motion sickness, otherwise, this would have been a dream come true. And Grey, the goat, don't get me started on him. He was enjoying the most out of all of them with the one and only mommy Urza. I am sorry, Jalal and Juvia, but after this, I ship Grey and Urza hardcore. I mean, this scene with shippers will absolutely love this scene, in my opinion. As we move along, we get to know that there is something going on with the port Ermina. Murkphobia is actually thrashing the city. This is what I want to see. Murkphobia is a freaking dragon. Why live in peace with freaking humans? Humans are so pathetic, you should destroy them all. Caramel arrives on the scene and starts explaining stuff. In a nutshell, this girl is a Murkphobia simp. She went to Toka, also known as aka the White Mage, and got NTR'd. That's what happened. Toka was supposed to steal or take Murkphobia's magic power, but she didn't. And she's now somehow controlling him. I cannot believe that there is a wizard who can make a dragon do their bidding. Not even Xerus could do that with Agnologia. I think Toka is way too OP, or at least she seems like to be it. Next scene, our best girl Toka is tied up and all of the Fairy Tail members are in the guild. Apparently, she needs Wendy's help to take the white mage out of her body with the separation enchantment. Now here is one of the best parts. Toka suddenly stops talking and the white mage comes out. Her manner of speaking is completely changed and her eyebrows turning white, the same as last episode. She looks very, very, very badass. I absolutely love this dual personality of Toka. I want to see this more and more going forward. Next scene, we are back at Ermina with Natsu and Caramel. Now here, Natsu grabs Caramel after she requests Natsu and the gang to kill Mugphobia. Natsu here makes an excellent point here that this woman went to Toka, got NTR'd, got the matters worse, and now she's crying to Natsu for another help. This girl needs to go. This girl needs to die. And don't forget that at the start, Mugphobia was strangling her. How the heck did she get out of there alive? And she's also claiming that she cannot do magic. She is very, very suspicious to me. Her crying is way too obvious or misleading, it seems. However, Urza intervenes and calms everyone down. Natsu's face, along with the flashes of Mugphobia, makes the next scene very emotional as he decides to go and kill Mugphobia. Maybe I want him to do that. And immediately we jump into action with all of them attacking Mugphobia at once. Urza uses her knight armor. It's been a whole decade since we last saw the armor. I think it is very awesome to see Urza in that outfit. Lucy here actually transforms into one of her spirit, or more likely the outfit of her changes to her spirits and fires an arrow alongside her spirit. I am saving the best person for the last, that is Grey. All Grey does is fire a cannon with ice. Now let's be real here. Some puny ice cubes are not gonna do anything to an actual dragon here. Grey needs to use his Demon Slayer magic, get that black marks, and make his hair spiky as he did with the fight against Mad Gear. Grey looks so cool in that form. I want to see him in that form. I want to see him go all out in that black form. Base Grey is not cool enough in this. As expected, these attacks did nothing to Mugphobia. Here we get to see Mugphobia's immense magic power where empties the whole freaking ocean and lifted it upwards towards the sky. I don't know why he did it, but it looks absolutely gorgeous. The whole ocean is turned towards the sky and the ocean is actually dry. The visual here looks amazing and it looks kinda ominous as well. I thought for sure that this is the climax, but no, we are back at Fairy Tail. So, homie girl Toka beat them in their own house and is now drinking tea in their own house. I don't know anyone who has more swag than Toka. I am interested in Natsu versus Mugphobia, but I am more and more excited for Toka. I mean, my homie girl is sitting in the Fairy Tail Guild and drinking her absolutely sweet tea. Gajil, Mirajen, Loxus, Kana, everyone is down. Toka at this point is way more OP than Zeref. It seems like Fairy Tail episode 5, a bitter choice, didn't have much action in it, but the story in it was amazing. A solid 9 out of 10. Again, the main star of the episode was Toka and Natsu's decision making scene. These two scenes were absolutely fire. Natsu's face was so much in despair and he still got up and went up against the fight with Mugphobia. We don't know what Toka is planning in the future, but I absolutely want her to stick around. I hope Natsu and Toka meets at some point. Thank you very much for watching my video. Tell me your thoughts on this week's Fairy Tail episode. I know the 2-minute recap was hideous. I hope they don't repeat it in the future as well. Tell me in the comment section below what you like and dislike about this week's episode. Bye bye. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Peace.